It's really tight. Okay, so we're out here in Glen Burnie looking for potentially cool things to shoot. The light's being a bit on and off today. Hopefully it stays on. So we're gonna try and get into the back of this old place here. There's a bit with a bunch of old cars here, like a garage or something like that. So we're gonna see if there's anything cool back there to shoot up.
What do you got there?
Oh, hello. Who are you?
I'm just a random passerby, curious about what you're doing.
Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Actually, I'm here to talk about, demonstrate, and shoot with my funky ass Lomography instax, no, it's Lomo'Instant Wide that uses instax film. Um, you
That's
see,
cool as fuck. Tell me
yeah.
more about it.
Well, basically, if you're familiar with the instax Wide, it's pretty much that, except it's made by Lomography. It has more features, and this one happens to be the William Klein edition. See, it's got William Klein pictures on it, so it looks cool as shit. And I've literally just taken a picture here. By the way, we're in beautiful Glen Burnie at the back of some garage somewhere, and I was just taking a picture of this car with all this crazy shit going on now. There's a woman's booty, a gun, lips, another gun, and it looks really cool. So,
So let's see that exposure.
yeah, let's see how it goes. So it's still just coming in. Now, the thing is, I love this camera, but it can be a bit funky technically. Like I think most Instaxes can be a bit hit and miss on the exposure. So we'll see if this comes out well at all. I'm going to try and frame this up. Now it's manual focusing. So you got half a meter, 1 to 2 meters, and infinity. By the way, I'm using the wide angle attachment. So when you get the camera initially, it comes with a bunch of accessories. So it comes with a sort of 35mm type of lens. But you also got this ultra wide doohickey here, which is what I tend to prefer using. It also comes with an attachment where Lomography likes to do the splice thing where you can kind of have this kind of like lens attachment where it kind of covers up parts of the lens at different exposures. Um, so that's not what I'm using now. Alright, so let's do something with this car here. Okay. we're just gonna do straight ahead here. So I believe that's within the 1 to 2 meter range here. 2, 1. Actually, it helps if I turn the camera on, obviously. Okay. So, right now it's currently white. So we're gonna see how that came out. Right, cool. So we're gonna look at what we got from this bit of the sesh. So, got a few pictures of the hood of that car. That one's a bit shit. It's just, don't really get to see what's going on in the picture too well. That's that brown car. Yeah, it came out alright, like in a technical kind of way. Don't think it's that exciting of a picture. But you can see how the wide angle, not quite fisheye, but the wideness of it works, of the ultra wide lens works here. That's a bit blah. And then, again, I got these two pictures where I was trying to focus on the lips painted on here. They came out alright. So, we're gonna find something else to shoot, alright? Don't run into me. Okay, so, yeah, we're just gonna, over there. This guy, yeah. So I'm gonna shoot this another garage here. Look how yellow it is. So I think this would be really good to shoot. Okay, so I had to stop over by that garage behind us because it's incredibly bright yellow. Looks really cool. So where we are right now is a street called Crane Highway, and it's got a lot of sort of slightly dilapidated but colorful buildings like this. And when we're doing things like road trips and wanting to do urban landscapes, I tend to reach for the Lomo rather than my digital camera here. When I do like a lot of my street stuff, I usually use my Fuji X-T5. This is still pretty good for street, but yeah, as I said, when I'm on road trips, I'm doing a lot more instax and digital at the time. It's just something with the quality of the film and the colors that you get that really work with this kind of camera. So let's see. I'm gonna turn the picture over and see if it looks okay. Okay, so here are two shots I took of the garage behind me. This one was taken at regular exposure, and this one still developing, but we're trying the exposure compensation down a little bit. Now, to me, they both look alright. So we got the two shots I took of the garage behind us, and so the first one I took was at sort of regular exposure, and it's somewhat overexposed. As much as this camera seems to love light, with the film being sort of 800 ASA, it can overexpose quite a bit. So the camera does have an option to kind of up or lower the exposure compensation, and it did a little bit better with this one. Maybe it's still a little bit hot on the highlights there, but there you have it. A couple of alright shots of this banana building behind us. I wonder if it tastes like banana if you ate it. Let's go. Okay guys, so we're gonna go where no photographers ever go and ever shoot. And it's totally not cliche at all. The cemetery. So this is, I don't know, Holy Cross Catholic Cemetery or whatever it's called, Brooklyn Park Cemetery in Brooklyn or Brooklyn Park. It's just north of Glen Burnie, and it's a pretty cool cemetery. If I die, well, this place will be alright. Fortunately, the sun has buggered off for the most part.
That's multiple exposure weather.
Actually, yeah, that's true. So it might be alright to demonstrate the multiple exposure feature.
Alright, I'm just trying to see where to park here.
Okay, that's exposure 1. Now let's try exposure 2 with these flowers here. And give these ones a go too. Alright, so I've tried a few different multiple exposures here. None of them have worked so far. And part of that's just the difficulty of, you're dealing with the light. There's not as much I'd like to multiple exposure as I was hoping. And where I need the flash to go off, sometimes it goes off and sometimes it doesn't. So when I've done the multiple exposures with this camera, it's worked way better when I'm working indoors. So maybe that's what we'll do. We'll go back home and try something like that. Okay, cool. For this last section, we're going to do an indoor bit, and we're going to be playing with our puppy Lorna here. And I'm going to try and take a multiple exposure picture with her using the flash gel. So you get a pack of flash gels with this camera, and then you kind of just slip them into this little slot over the flash. So it's going to be hit or miss because, you can't see what you're doing, but let's give it a go. Okay, Lorna, look at me. Oh, Jesus Christ. Probably fucked that one up. Right, so I'm going to switch out from the red one here. We're going to move to Blurple here. I can get it into the slot. There you go. Look at me. Lorna, look at me. Okay. Bits out. Lorna, look at me. Okay, so that's 3 exposures. I'm going to press the multiple exposure button. And then out comes the film. And then we're going to see what it looks like. It might be shit, but we'll see in just a minute, okay? Wow.
Go.
Wow. What an exciting day. So, anyway, yeah, we're going to have a quick look at some of the pictures that we had done today. And then I'll go over some of my favorite ones that I've done in the past. And then I'll do some closing thoughts about the camera itself. So, let's see what we got. So, all the ones of that car, the first car that we shot, like with the cool art on the hood, this one I thought worked the best. It's not a great picture, but that's as close as I got to it. Maybe be a bit better when I scan it. And and this was the car next to it. It's kind of not that exciting of a picture, but you know, it does a good enough job of showing kind of like the technical capability of the camera. Yeah, it's sharp, the colors are good, that kind of thing. And then when we went to shoot the auto repair shop, colors came out good overall. It's still, even with the exposure compensation, still a little bit overexposed, but yeah, it's not bad. And then when we did the multiple exposures in the cemetery, like, I thought none of them were going to work at all, and for the most part they didn't. But this one actually, once we let it develop enough, turned out all right. I like how the colors came out this nice warm tone, and you know, the light from the sun kind of gives us a wee shaft there. So yeah, that came out all right. And then the one with the dog, obviously it's really hard to compose with a dog that moves around like that, but I think we got some interesting bits with her mouth open, her eye down here, and so on. So yeah, that's our catch for the day.
It's zero. There, you can have that as an interlude.
Okay, so those were today's pictures, and I'll show you some of my all-time favorites that I've taken with this camera. I've only had the camera since around Christmas, so there's only so many I have. Now, this is my go-to camera for like things like road trips or urban landscapes, you know, where we're not dealing with a lot of people per se, right? So, you know, there's this picture that I took of a sign near a drive-through cinema, and it was taken in the golden hour, or you know, dusk basically, and I just love how the colors and the light is rendered here. And this was taken with the ultra-wide lens, so I kind of like that kind of pull and stretch it gives you. So when you can get the composition just right here, you can really get good pictures. And similarly, this was taken of the now defunct Arby's in Laurel up the road here. Again, it's doing really good with the sort of sunset light and the shadows, and then just the colors that this kind of film gives you is really good. And for, you know, this is a plastic lens, given that it's actually reasonably sharp. Again, when things like the exposures and stuff come out right, you can get some really beautiful images. And like I had said earlier, when I go out on my like road trips and I'm looking for sort of roadside stuff or urban landscapes, I tend to shoot more with this than I do the actual digital camera that I use. But this camera is also pretty good for street photography of people, right? You wouldn't think so, because is it going to be fast enough? Is the composition's always going to be shit, for example? It's actually done all right. So this is from around the Trump inauguration in Washington, D.C. This woman just kind of ran right past me, and when she was maybe less than half a meter away, I just fired it off, and the flash really picked her up, and the details are reasonably sharp. It's not overexposed, it's not underexposed, it's just about right. And this one I took this past weekend at the Sowebo Fest in Baltimore. Woman holding a parrot, and again, I'm really loving when the flash does go off and when it doesn't just bleach out everything. It can look really good, and I just love the colors you're getting. Like the colors on that parrot and that woman's red hair pretty spot on. When I'm doing street stuff with this camera, to be honest, I'm usually not doing candid stuff because I don't feel like it's as fast, although that one with the Trump lady was, you know, a candid moving subject and it did just fine. This lady, I just had just please hold the parrot, etc. And technically the parrot's candid because he doesn't know what's going on, but yeah. So I've really come to really love this camera. Again, it does have some technical faults, right? There's a possibility that my copy has been bashed around a bit, and maybe some things aren't working as well as he did when I first got it. Like, for instance, the flash not always going off reliably, and the metering can be really wonky. I've heard people say that you know, sometimes it will just over or underexpose things for no good reason. Then the next shot will be totally fine, and then there's also that thing where occasionally it will just give you a blank image. But when this thing hits it, it really hits it. I obviously love the designs on it, how like crazy this camera looks. I mean, people stop me in the street and ask me about this camera all the time, and just the way it renders the images are beautiful. So when I go out on a shoot, I never leave without this one. And sometimes, you know, on a shoot, my favorite pictures are actually coming from this rather than my proper digital camera. So this version is still out there, I think. I don't think it's sold out. There is a glass lens version that Lomography has come out with that apparently has sharper pictures. It's obviously a little bit more expensive, but if you can pull out the dosh for it, go ahead. It's definitely a fun camera to have and definitely worth getting. So, yeah. I give this camera a thumbs up, and I'd give it another thumbs up if the other thumb wasn't holding the camera up.